welcome to the Short Player Profiles. As always, I am your host, the Fantasy Football Joker, Jack Lusney. You can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook, and now you can even find me on TikTok, all under my name at Jack Lusney. And of course, make sure that you're signing up for fantasyfootballadviceforum.com using my exclusive promo code Joker420 to get 10% off. You can join the awesome community that is building over there, either as a content creator yourself or just interacting with a bunch of fantasy experts and a Joker. So make sure that you go sign up today. Today we have X is for Xavier Hutchinson, 6th round wide receiver selection for the Houston Texans. Now this is very specifically a Dynasty window podcast short here that you can take away for your very deep Dynasty leagues. So you're talking 12 to 16 man rosters, because when you're going into those rookie drafts, when you get to the back end of those third rounds, it really starts to get into those nitty gritty players that either went in the very last rounds or were undrafted. And so I'm actually going to talk about three, but we're going to focus primarily on Xavier Hutchinson. And when I'm looking at Xavier Hutchinson, I'm looking at a path to relevancy. And this is just for any player that you're obviously taking a shot. It's probably not going to work out in the long run. But, you know, I hit on Romeo Doubs in a similar position last year. And so every now and again, you can kind of make that lottery ticket work for you and find an asset that's at least, you know, worth trading for, you know, trading up for a more valuable piece at some point the next year. That's how you build quality rosters in a Dynasty League over time, especially if you're not someone like me who is usually having your first and second round picks because you traded them all away. So, Xavier Hutchinson, he slipped in the draft primarily because of his speed and athletic concerns. But he produced well when he was at Iowa State. He's 6'3", 205. So he presents a very different type of receiver as compared to Tank Dell, who they took in the third round, and also John Mechie, who's already on the roster, the second round pick from last year, who battled leukemia. Now, I'm a big fan of John Mechie. I'm hoping that he can make a return to action. But there's also, you're talking about Nico Collins, who, you know, there's definitely some fantasy managers out there that are truthers for Nico Collins. And then for everybody's forgetting that Bobby Trees, Robert Woods is there too. So it's very much, it's the type of wide receiver room that's up for grabs. You know, that any wide receiver that does well in training camp, off-season, and preseason could potentially make enough of a mark to where they're going to be a starting receiver. And if that happens, then it just makes them valuable in, again, very deep Dynasty rosters, especially when you're talking about 16-man leagues. And just quickly, a couple other guys that I like in similar fashion. Michael Wilson, again, big body wide receiver out of Stanford that struggled to stay healthy. And Puka Nacua, I forget what college he's out of, but I just love saying his name. He was drafted to the Rams, and he's already getting some off-season buzz from Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, talking about how he's a hard worker and a great chemistry guy, and he's definitely someone that, you know, you're talking about. Behind Cooper Kupp, it's a handful of guys like Ben Skowronek and Van Jefferson, who I've taken a lot of in late best ball, but I have also taken a lot of Puka Nacua. So make sure that you are checking in on Xavier Hutchinson, Michael Wilson, and Puka Nacua. Thank you as always for joining. And again, make sure that you sign up to fantasyfootballadviceforum.com. It is 100% worth it, and you can get 10% off using my code Joker420. Catch you all on the flip side.